Good morning students. Today is our new topic, structure of kidney and nephron. So these are the excretory systems. Our topic in this excretory system, we know about the excretory organs. Okay, so the excretory organs are mainly here protonephridiums and metanephridiums and Malpighian tubules, antennary glands and coxal glands and kidneys. So these are very important for NEET point of view and EAPCET point of view. In NEET based question, for example, they are asking here coxal glands are present in which organisms. So directly question EAPCET point of view, but in NEET point of view it will be comes in what here match the following question. For example, if you see the protonephridiums, best example is the platyhelminthes and rotiferans, and metanephridiums, best example is the earthworms, and Malpighian tubules, we know about the Malpighian tubules, best example is arthropodans. In depth question, if it comes, arthropodans means what here periplanet American or cockroach, and antennary glands, we know about the what here characters of crustaceans, best example of that crustaceans, antennary glands are present. And next one, coxal glands are present. So in arachnidans, especially in spiders, we know about the spider, it contains some tracheas, these are the respiratory organelles, and coxal glands are the excretory organelles. So that is somewhat difference here. And next one is the kidneys. Okay, so kidneys, these are present in higher vertebrates. Okay, from where the kidneys are present here, it is present from fishes to mammals. Okay, well developed kidneys are present. Kidneys are in retroperitoneal organs. Okay, so these are what here excretory organelles. If you going to the structure of the kidney, so today our new topic, this is called what here structure of kidney. So generally kidneys are present here into the where it is present into the abdominal region from from thoracic region to or third lumbar vertebrae up to extending into the kidneys are present. These are the retroperitoneal position. Right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidneys. Okay, so kidneys are which color? It bean shaped structure. The kidneys these are slightly reddish in color. Kidneys are present. Okay, so this is the structure of the kidney. It contains what here outer region concave structure. This is the outer region is called concave structure, and inner region it contains what here outer region it contains a convex structure. These are the convex structure, and inner region it contains, if you seeing from inner side, these are what here concave structure. Okay, it contains various parts. If you see the concave structure, it contains a what here hilum part. Okay, hilum region is present here into this region. Okay, and inner region of the what here inner side of the concave structure, it contains nerves and some what here renal arteries are extending, or the renal arteries are present here into that inner side. Okay, and the kidneys, the weight of the kidney approximately 120 to 170 grams. It comes in NEET point of view, 120 to 170 grams weight is there kidneys. Okay, the what here right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney. Why? Because due to presence of the liver. Okay, somewhat both are not equal here in where the in vertebrates. Okay, so this is the what here kidney structure. If you see here the kidney, this is what here medullary pyramid. It is called as a medullary pyramid. If you see the internal structure of the kidney, outer region it contains a cortex part, and inner region it contains a medullary part. Cortex part number 1 is called as a cortex region. Okay, and number 2 region is called as a medullary region is there. Okay, if you see the medullary region, some cone shaped structures are forming. The cone shaped structures are called what here? These all are the renal pyramids. Okay, or what here medullary pyramids. Cone shaped structures are forming here. So these all cone shaped structures are called what here renal pyramids. Okay, and next these renal pyramids what here Bettini columns of Bettins are forming here. These are called as a renal columns of Bettin. Why? Projections like structures of cortex region, okay, or renal projections like structures are forming. These are So these are called what here renal columns, or it is also known as a columns of Berrettini, columns of Berrettini. Okay, and next one, here renal pyramids, cortex region and medullary region. If you see the cortex part and medullary part, okay, it terminates to that papillary region, or that is called as a renal papillae. Okay, renal papillae, okay, it is extending part, some cup-like structures are forming. So the cup-like structures are called what here? Renal calyces. Renal calyces are forming here. Okay, and from renal calyces, funnel-shaped structure are extending what here? Funnel-shaped structure. So funnel-shaped structures is called what here? Renal pelvis. Renal pelvis. These are called what here? Renal pelvis. Okay, funnel-shaped structure. If you see here the what here internal structure of the kidney, it contains what here? Renal papillae and renal calyces, okay, cup-like structures, and what here funnel shaped structures, so that is called as a renal pelvis are present here. Okay, from renal pelvis to the where the extending part, that is called what here? Hilum. Okay, through the hilum, no, next region is called as a ureter part. Through the ureter, where now it is region that is called as a urinary bladder. Okay, so this is what here medullary region, internal structure of the kidney. And next region, what here next part, that is called as a ureter part. This is called as a ureter region or the ureter part. It is made up of transitional epithelial cells. Okay, it is a whitish tube-like structure is forming here in a ureter. Okay, the urine is passing here into that ureter. It is made up of transitional epithelial cells. Okay, and next region, bladder is forming. We know about that bladder, that is called as urinary bladder. It is a bag-like structure is forming storage to that what here urine. Okay, so urinary bladder, when the bladder is fulfilling, the urine is passing into the outside. Okay, so the urinary bladder also made up of what here? Transitional epithelial cells. It is somewhat whitish tissue is forming here. Okay, so that is called urinary bladder, and here it contains what here? Sphincter muscles, contraction and relaxations of that muscles. Okay, the contraction of the relaxation of the urinal sphincter muscles, with the help of sphincter muscles, what here the urine is what here going outside or excreting into the outside. So this is about that what here excretory system. This is the structure of kidney. See here the structure of kidney. This is the renal column part. Okay, this is what here medullary pyramid part and it is called as a calyx or renal artery. Okay, and next one, this is called as a renal veins. Okay, renal arteries, okay, carrying oxygenated blood. Vein, it carrying deoxygenated blood. We know about the renal arteries and renal veins. Okay, and next one, this is called as a renal pelvis part. It is called as a renal pelvis part. It is the ureter. Through the ureter, next region is called as a urinary bladder. Okay, so through the urinary bladder, through the urethra, the urine is passing into the outside. Okay, so this is the structure of kidney. If you see the what here nephron, okay, this is called as a nephron. Each kidney have a 1 million of the nephron. Okay, so 1 million of the nephron. How the nephrons are forming? See, this is the kidney, what here renal pyramid. Okay, in this renal pyramid, what here, this is called what here nephrons. Nephron is forming. What is the main function of the nephron? It filters to that H2O molecules. Okay, so 1 million of the nephron is forming. Okay, so this is what here nephron. ఇక్కడ నెఫ్రాన్ ఎప్పుడైతే ఇక్కడ ఫామ్ అవుతూ ఉంటుందో 1 మిలియన్ ఆఫ్ ద నెఫ్రాన్, సమ్ టైమ్స్ స్టోన్స్ అనేవి ఎక్కడ వస్తాయి సార్ అంటే రీనల్ పిరమిడ్స్ మధ్యన వచ్చి ఏంది ఫుల్ఫిల్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయి. స్మాల్ యూరిక్ యాసిడ్ లైక్ స్ట్రక్చర్స్ అవన్నీ కూడా పెల్లెట్స్ లాగా మారుతుంటాయి. వాటిని మనం ఇక్కడ కిడ్నీ స్టోన్స్ అని అంటాం. ఓకేనా, ఎవరైతే వాటర్ తక్కువ తాగుతారో వాళ్ళ కిడ్నీ స్టోన్స్ రావడానికి మెయిన్ రీజన్ దిస్ రీజియన్. ఓకేనా, ఇక్కడ కిడ్నీస్ ఇట్ కంటైన్స్ వాట్ ఇయర్ 1 మిలియన్ ఆఫ్ ద నెఫ్రాన్స్ ఆర్ వాట్ ఇయర్ స్ట్రక్చరల్ యూనిట్ అండ్ structural unit of that kidney is called what here? Nephron. These are called. Okay, if you see the nephron, this is the structure of nephron. From easy way, we know about the nephron structure. This is the afferent renal arteriole. Okay, afferent renal arteriole, and this is called as a glomerulus. It is called what here? Glomerulus. Okay, this is called glomerulus. And next one, this is called as a Bowman's capsule. It is called as a Bowman's capsule. Okay, this is what here from neck region of that Bowman's capsule. This is called PCT. means proximal convoluted tibial. PCT means proximal convoluted tibial. Okay, and downward extending region, that is called what here? This is loop of the Henle. Okay, Henle loop. It is called as a loop of the Henle. And next region, this is called what here? DCT, distal convoluted tibial part. Distal convoluted tibial. Okay, and from here to what? Collecting duct, CD, collecting duct and Bellini duct, etc. parts are there. Now see here this is the afferent renal arteriole. Afferent renal arteriole. ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఏమొస్తుంది బ్లడ్ అనేది వస్తూ ఉంటుంది. బ్లడ్ కంటైన్స్ 90% ఆఫ్ వాటర్. ఓకే, నా అఫరెంట్ నుంచి ఎక్కడ వస్తుంది అంటే ఎక్కడ బామన్స్ క్యాప్సిల్లోకి గ్లోమెరులస్లోకి వస్తుంది. ఇట్ ఈస్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ వేర్? ఇట్ ఈస్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ అఫరెంట్ renal arteriole through the where glomerulus region. Blood capillaries are together form here. Folds are formed here. Okay na, that is called as a glomerulus part. Now it is filtering here. Okay na, ఇది ఫిల్టర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది ఇక్కడ. నెక్స్ట్ పార్ట్, దిస్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ వాట్ హియర్? బామన్స్ క్యాప్సిల్ అంటున్నాం. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఎ కప్ లైక్ స్ట్రక్చర్ ఈజ్ ఫార్మింగ్ బామన్స్. ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as a glomerulus. Glomerulus and Bowman's together called as a Malphian tubules. What is that? Malphian tubules. In a NEET point of view, they are asking Malphian tubules. Okay. Now this is called what here? Malphian tubules, right? Now here it contains different types of cells. If you see the glomerulus, this part is called as a glomerulus. Okay, it is called Bowman's capsule. Capsule-like structure is called Bowman's capsule. It is called as a glomerulus. Okay, glomerulus and Bowman's capsule. Okay, it contains different layers. Okay, so number 1 cells are forming, so that is called as a podocyte cells are forming. So capillary network like structures are forming, so that is called as a what here? Podocyte cells. What is that? Podocyte. Next layer, this layer is called as a podocyte cells, for example, and next layer is forming, so that is called as a what here? Filtrations. Okay, filtration slits. Minute space is forming here, so that minute space it is filled with that filtration slits. Okay, and last region some pores are forming, so that pores is called what here? Fenestration. Means podocyte cells and filtration slits and fenestrations. Okay, so these layers are filtering H2O molecules. Okay, so then it is forming as a what here? Urine. So that is called as a primary urine in PCT. Generally it is not considering as a urine. It contains what here? Most about that H2O molecules. Water molecules are more. Okay, now where it is reaching? It is reaching into the Bowman's capsule. What is this Bowman's capsule? So this is region is called as a PCT, network proximal convoluted tibial. Okay, this part is called as outer cortex region. Okay, it is the medullary region. It is called as a medullary region. It is called outer medullary region, and this region is called as inner medullary region. See here, this part, which part? It is called ascending limb loop of the Henle it is called, and descending limb loop of the Henle it is called. Okay, descending limb, this is part, it is extending from where? It is extending from PCT, from proximal convoluted tubule to the where now extending region is called a descending limb loop of the Henle. It is a which thin walled substances of that medullary region, and next region what here? Thick walled substances is forming. Where it is where it is present means it is present into the where? Ascending limb. Okay, so descending limb and ascending limb U-shaped structure is forming, so that is called as a loop of the Henle. What is that? Loop of the Henle. So loop of the Henle is forming. So this is called loop of the Henle. From loop of the Henle, next region what? That is called as a DCT, distal convoluted tubule. What is the distal convoluted tubule? So if here distal convoluted tubules, it contains sodium. Okay na, different types of what here? Minerals are there. Here the cells they are reabsorbing here again. Okay, so one of the important character is there in DCT. Okay, low deficiency of vasopressin, it causes to the diabetes insipidus disease. Okay na, some electrolytes are maintaining balancing here into that DCT. It is very important for NEET and EAPCET point of view. Okay, So from DCT, now it is reaching into the collecting duct or Bellini duct. Next it is exiting ureter through the urinary bladder, urethra. Now it is going into the outside. Okay. Here very important points. Number one is the cortical nephrons and extramedullary nephrons are there. What is cortical nephrons? What is cortical nephrons? See here, loop of the Henle is too short and extend very little bit into the medullary region is called as a cortical nephrons. Okay, it comes in EAPCET point of view. And juxtamedullary nephrons. What is juxtamedullary nephrons? Means loop of the Henle is too long and extend very deep notch into that medullary region is called as a juxtamedullary nephrons. Nephrons are mainly two types. We know about the juxta. Number one is called as a cortical nephrons, and number two called as a juxtamedullary nephrons. Loop of the Henle is too short and extend very little bit into the medullary region is called as a cortical nephrons. Loop of the Henle is too long and extend very long into the deep notch is called as a juxtamedullary nephrons. Okay, so cortical and juxtamedullary nephrons are very important. So this is about that what here the PCT to DCT, DCT to CD, CD to okay Bellini to what here now it is what here excreting into the outside through the urethra. Now see, this is the afferent renal arteriole. The blood is now coming here into the glomerulus. Through the glomerulus now it is reaching into the afferent renal arteriole. This is called as afferent renal arteriole. From afferent renal arteriole, okay, now it is reaching where? It is reaching into the afferent renal arteriole. Now the blood is where it is going? It is going into the peritubular what here? Capillaries. So network like structure is formed here. This is called peritubular capillary network. Okay, from peritubular capillary network, okay, the blood is passing likewise. Blood is passing where? Now it is reaching here, it is reaching into the Henle loop covering layer. So that is called what here? Vasa recta. Vasa recta. This region is called what here? Vasa recta. Vasa recta. Okay, through the vasa recta, now it is going where? It is going into the medullary region. వాసా రెక్టా నుంచి ఎక్కడ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది బ్లడ్ అంటే ఇక మెడులరీ రీజియన్ నుంచి ఇక ఎక్కడ వెళ్తుంది అంటే నెక్స్ట్ ఎక్కడ రీనల్ ఆర్టరీస్ రీనల్ వెయిన్స్ అక్కడ నుంచి అట్లా సైక్లిక్ ప్రాసెస్గా బ్లడ్ అనేది సప్లై అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. అంటే మనం అబ్జర్వ్ చేయాల్సింది ఇక్కడ ఏంది సార్ అంటే ఇక్కడ వాసా రెక్టా ఈజ్ దేర్. ఓకే, వాసా రెక్టా ఈజ్ ఎక్స్టెండింగ్ U-shaped structure. From vasa recta the blood is pumping into the where? It is pumping into the renal arteries and renal veins. Now it is transmitting or supplying into the various parts of the body. Okay, so this is about that what here renal what here this is about that structure of that nephron. Okay, vasa recta is absent in highly reduced into the cortical nephrons. They don't have vasa recta. But juxtamedullary nephrons, they have a well-developed vasa recta into the inner medullary region. Okay, so from vasa recta to blood is pumping into the various part. Okay, so this is about the structure of the nephron. What is this structure of the nephron? Okay, how it is filtering here? Okay, this is the structure of the kidney. Today our topic is structure of kidney. Okay, please subscribe and share. Thank you, dear students. Thank you once again.